Hi, this is a quick movie on how to get your rigid 6800 generator running again. This one would basically start with the choke on or with ether, but would immediately quit. So at the end of the day, it's a pretty simple job to clean the carburetor. You can do it with a Phillips head screwdriver, 12mm socket, and a 10. So I'm just going to take you through this really quick. We'll see how fast it'll go. I'll show you how to clean the carburetor. So here we go. First thing to do is take the air cleaner off. Pretty easy. I'll try to go fast here so I won't bore you. I've obviously done this once before. Take that out. Piece of foam in here, piece of metal. Pull that out. There's a 10mm bolt here that holds the air cleaner on. Take that out. Next is a 12mm, holds the carburetor on. Pull these out. Once you get them broken loose, they're very easy. One, two. Pull this metal plate out. There's a tube that goes to the valve cover. Pull that. Then the air cleaner should come right off, so I just pulled this off. It's very easy. The one thing I've already done, there's a clamp to hold the fuel line. Make sure the fuel is off. Some's going to drain out. So you pull that out. Okay. Going to spill some fuel, unfortunately. Next thing you do is gently pull the carburetor away. There are some gaskets. There's a little tiny spring here. If you look at it, you can just kind of pull it. It'll come off. This is for the governor. Pull this out a little ways. And then watch the gasket here so you don't tear it on the back. It wants to hang up on the threads. Pull that. Now you've got the carburetor off. It's pretty easy. It's right here. So I'm going to switch views here, show you how to pull the carburetor apart. Okay, here we go on the carburetor. First thing I would do is take a 13mm wrench, loosen this, pull this apart, gently tug on this. The bowl will come off. There's a rubber seal in here, be careful. If this is dirty, wipe the inside out. Okay, the next thing you want to do is take the jets apart. So there's one over here on the side. It's a regular screwdriver. Pop this apart. On this one, before it would run, this was actually clogged. So I'll just throw it in there for now. Next thing you want to do is there's another jet way down inside here. This one also had some problems, so you just want to screw this out. It's down in there quite a ways. It's a big long jet. Pull this out. The other thing you can pull out, and there may be a safety cap on this one, pull this jet out. It's up on the top of the carburetor. Has a little black cap. I just pry it off. Pull that out. There's one more in here. So I'm going to pull this top one out. Now we've got all the jets apart. So now what you want to do is take some carburetor cleaner and spray down in all the holes. So I would spray some down in here. Everywhere you took a jet out, spray carb cleaner. So there's some there. There's some little jets at the opening of the carburetor, so if you pull the choke open, there's one on this side and one on this side. So I'm going to get a little piece of wire and show you what to do. So I took a little piece of wire out of some just some electrical wire. So what you want to do, these things can get clogged up. Take the piece of wire and you can kind of see through the hole. Poke it down and you should see it come out in this top hole. Make sure that's clear. Likewise on the other side, stick that down. This one's a little harder to see because it actually intersects a passage here, which if you look from the bottom, you can stick the piece of wire up and make sure that's clear. You can also take the piece of wire, gently stick it all the way up through the carburetor, and you should be, with a little finesse, being able to see it pop out into the carburetor bore. So you want to check that. The other thing in this side jet over here, you can actually poke it through the hole. You can see the wire come out here, so make sure all those passages are clear. Do the same thing with all the jets. Poke something through, make sure they're nice and clear. Now on this one, the problem was this looked clear and it was fine. It's a big hole, but what I noticed were these little holes. There's like a series of let's see, 12 holes on the sides. Those also need to be cleared out. They were clogged. In fact, this one still is clogged. I didn't even notice that. But anyway, make sure every one of these little holes is clear with like a little piece of wire. After that, you pretty much just put the carburetor back together in the same order, which I will do in a minute. One thing that I want to note on this jet, not all these holes go all the way through. They look like they just drilled them, but they don't actually go through and do anything. There is one hole down here at the bottom where the wire will go all the way through. Try to make sure these are all clean, but I'm not convinced they actually do anything. They may be for a different jet, and they just partially drill these holes. Anyway, the thing runs like this for sure, and it wouldn't run before. So it must be fixed, and I can actually see through that bottom hole. So now all I'm going to do is put all this stuff back together. So I'm going to stick this jet in. No big deal. Screw it down until it gets tight. I don't think it has to be extremely tight. So I've got that one in. This little long one with holes in it goes in the top. This is snug. This one with the spring, don't lose that, goes in the top over here. Now on this one, the factory adjustment is you screw it in all the way and then come back out a turn and a quarter. So what I did, it's actually easier with a pair of needle nose. I just screwed this in until it's snug, not extremely tight, and then I flipped it out approximately 2 turns, so half, 1, 1.5, and 1 3/4 is factory setting. I just screwed it to 2. This little short one goes back in the side here. There's no adjustment on it. Okay. On my particular generator, the drain hole is opposite this jet that has the adjustment. Make sure the O-ring's in there. Push that back in. You can kind of see where it threads in. There's a little gasket on the bottom of here. Thread this in. Snug it. I don't think it has to be extremely tight. Now we're basically done, ready to put the carburetor back in. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put the carb back on. Careful with the gasket. First thing I want to do is put this little rod back where it came from. You don't really need to put the string on right now, or the spring. Be careful sliding it on, not to tear up the gasket. You can put your fuel line on. Push this in. Take the spring, hook it in. Okay. That's in. It's pretty easy. Next thing we're going to do is put the air box on. Attach the hose to the valve cover. Push this on. I don't think it matters, but I made note of which way this came off. I'm going to put this on. These going with the 12 millimeter. So I'm just going to snug these for a moment. Hand tight. Take this 10, goes down the bottom. Snug that a little bit. Snug the 12s. Seem to be good. This plate goes back in. There is an orientation. You see this round part goes up to the top left. Put that in. You can kind of see the indentions of where the air cleaner came apart. Boom, that goes in. Air cleaner on. I'm going to go ahead and turn the gas on so we don't have to wait long. Hopefully this thing will start right up. Air cleaner's on. Everything's tight. Should be ready to go. Choke. Okay, that concludes the video. One thing to note, there is a drain screw on the bottom of the carburetor. I like to turn the gas off and run it until it's empty, or either drain the carburetor after use. This one got gummed up because the gas was sitting in it a while. It wouldn't start at all. You could spray some ether down the carburetor. It would run for 2 or 3 seconds, then shut off as soon as the ether ran out. Anyway, hopefully this will help you get your generator going when you pull it out. There's no power, and you can't get it started, and you can't find anybody to fix it right away. Thanks for watching.